Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Welcome back to the show. This is Monday morning, and it's episode 572 of the Two Dumb Yinzers. How you doing, Mike?
I'm doing great, man. I had a nice, relaxing weekend. Um, ready to talk some. Just ready to talk.
It was a nice weekend. I got a lot of
What?
sleep, and I almost like a reset. You need a reset every once in
Yeah,
a while, and I needed a reset.
yeah.
I,
I think we all did, and it was a nice, relaxing weekend. People stopped letting off fireworks. I was able to sleep, so that was nice.
I seen a meme. It was like, uh, what was there a deal for buy one firework get 532,000 for free this year?
I think that was the promo.
Mm. Yeah, I'm
Oh
I'm glad to have that behind us. Not my favorite time of the year. I mean, it's cool. I dig. I like the idea and everything, but just not a big fan of the fireworks myself. I'd rather not. But I get it. So I'm glad everybody
yeah,
had fun. And as far as I know, everybody that I know still has all their digits and ready to move on for the
yeah,
next
yeah.
part of
My
summer.
yeah, my friend group chat. They all send pictures of their fingers. I thought it was weird, but hey, they're all there. That's all that matters.
Finger confirmation. Make sure
Yeah,
everybody still got
at
all their.
first, I was like, boys, what's going on here?
Yeah. How about you? You still got all your fingers?
I still got all my fingers.
All right. That's all that matters.
That's all I care about.
You got all your fingers. Derby doesn't have Wi-Fi. Apparently, is the problem. It's having a little bit of an issue, some technical issues. So I don't know. I don't
Uh,
know. I don't
uh,
know what's going to go on. What I'm going to do with this guy, but we'll see from here. All I do know is what I'm being told is that he has no Wi-Fi, so I could see how
no
that could be a problem.
Wi-Fi.
But that's where that stands as of right now.
Oh, Derpy. He always has an excuse. I give him that.
Yeah. Ryan broke out his 80s VHS porno for the binge watch and had his own hot dog eating contest. I might as well had. Good morning, John, on the board. Steeler freak.
Uh, uh,
Um,
I don't know why that's making me laugh so hard.
do you remember? I'm a little bit older than you, Mike, so you may not remember because I was just old enough whenever they were still using the Betamax.
Yeah, I remember Betamax. Yeah.
And remember how hard it was trying to watch porn on the Betamax? Because with your phone, you just push a button and it's gone.
Yeah.
Betamax, there was this whole production where you put the tape in, you got to push the tape down, and then once you push the tape down, it started doing all this winding, rewinding, forward winding. It sounded like a transformer basically, and it was very very difficult to watch porn back when we were kids. And you had to still steal your dad's magazines, and but the kids now they don't know how good they have it. They really don't. But yes, Steeler Freak, my '80s porn that was some of my favorite times in life. I got to admit. We will talk a little bit more about the hot dog eating contest here a little bit later on the show. I got big things planned for this. So the hot dog eating contest is not going away anytime soon. We will again. I'll talk a little bit more about it as the show goes on. But right now, guys, we have to get into this. The biggest show in Major League Baseball is heading to Texas. Guys, yes, Paul Skeens is selected to the All-Star team along with Brian Reynolds. They will be going to Texas next week to compete in the All-Star game. And Mike, there's still a chance because they don't tell who the starters are until the day before the All-Star game. So Paul Skeens could very much be starting in this All-Star game for the National League. And I think I got to be honest with you, you get a guy who was drafted the first player ever in MLB history that was drafted first overall and to make the All-Star game the very next season. He's the first and only player ever to do it. This guy has to start.
He has to. It's what's best for businesses, and that's what you have to do. People want to see this guy, you know,
Yeah.
because
They don't want to see this
it
guy in
is,
the sixth inning for two-thirds of an inning.
exactly. Yeah, let him go out there and start against the top of the order, and see what he has. Don't make people wait for him. Just get him out there, let him pitch. Are there better guys out there? Yeah, but he is the story. The first player ever to be drafted number one overall, and then in the following season make the All-Star game. He has to be the guy. He has to be the starter. do the right thing. You throw
Mike,
Pittsburgh a bone at
I even got
least.
to argue with you that there are better guys out there. I can test this because I mean, this is the guy's rookie year. The guy's been playing for 8 weeks.
Yeah,
8 weeks.
okay, yeah.
I've done, in 8 weeks. Come on, that's nothing.
Uh,
The guy has in 10 starts a 5-0 record, a 2.12 ERA, 78 strikeouts, and he's giving up a 221 average. That's what
yeah,
the batters are facing him are. He never left the game with the Bucks trailing.
yeah.
Uh, I mean, it's arguable that he may be the best pitcher in the majors.
I,
Now, I got to let me say this. It's going to take him a while to really mold his game to
mhm.
be that ideal
Yeah,
MLB pitcher. But once he does, I think he becomes he may be one of the best pitchers ever in the game, Mike. I mean, with the
he might
exception of
be.
9 guys in front of him, I think like I'll get to that statistic later, but
Mhm.
it's very, very cool that he's going. It's very cool that he's even being considered for the first to start the game for the National League. And I got to tell you, I'm super excited. I've gone with my Skeens
I
jersey one more time here. I can't
You have
I
to.
can't stop thinking about Paul Skeens. This guy, if you're a Pittsburgh sports fan, you got to be losing your mind with this guy.
And like Steeler Freak's saying, chicks dig the 103 mile an hour fastball. You do have to give the chicks what they want. You have to give the fans what they want. And Paul Skeens, he is it. You're looking for that next big phenom in baseball. He's that guy. He's like Randy Johnson and God who's the oh God the Hispanic guy for Boston who beat up the old
Pedro,
Yankee guy.
Pedro.
Pedro. Yeah, he's like Pedro and Randy Johnson rolled into one. That splinker, that pitch is unhittable. And get him out there. Just let him throw like 8 splinkers in a row. Get him in, get him out. Give the fans what they want. I
Mike,
need
he
more of the
has
splinker in my life.
he again is the first rookie with 7 or more Ks in at least 9 of his first 10 starts. His 78 strikeouts are the eighth most to start a career by a pitcher. Again, say what you will. On one hand, we have the bad news Bucks, and then on the other hand, we have possibly the best pitcher on the planet Earth at this point. And something's got to give eventually
Yeah.
because I mean, you see what's going on. As a matter of fact, I was talking to somebody the other day after we had won the game on Friday 14-2. I said, you know what? That was a freak game. They're going to lose, and they're going to lose, and they're only going to score 2 runs a
Mm-hmm.
game from the rest of the way out. Mike, they've literally scored 2 runs a game, both of the games since the 14-2 win.
Yeah.
This team has become so predictable. They do
Oh
play
yeah.
today, game 4 of the Mets series at 12:35. So shortly after we go off the air, the Buccos and the Mets finish up their game 4 of the series. They are down 2 games to 1. Let's get into some of the games from the weekend, Mike, because we could
Mm.
we could move on here a little bit.
Yeah.
Pirates Friday night was a fun one. I mean, this was real fun. If you're a Pirate fan, this is as good as it gets because they did things that this team has never done ever in the history of the franchise, and the franchise has been around since 1887. So let's take a look at how Friday night went. Buccos played on Friday. It was a Paul Skeens start, very exciting. A lot of people showed up at the stadium, and you know what? They were not disappointed. We out hit the Mets 16-5 in this game. Again, where did these offensive power? Where does this come from? Because again, 16 hits, 14 runs. In the following 2 days, they have a total of 12 hits and 4 runs. I'm sorry, Skeens gets to start. He goes 7 innings, gives up 4 hits, 2 runs, 2 walks, has 8 strikeouts. Dalton Jeffries comes in for him and does his job because he comes in the last 2 innings, finishes them off. Not too difficult when you're up 14. You score
Yeah.
14 unanswered runs, but Dalton Jeffries does come in, does pretty well himself, strikes out 3. Now, that was just the beginning of it. The offense, I want to talk about this offense for a
Ooh,
minute.
they were hot this
Mike,
game.
Brian Reynolds, 4 for 5, 3 runs, 6 RBIs, 2 home runs. Rowdy Tellez, 2 for 4, 2 runs, 1 walk, 5 RBIs, 2 home runs. Now I got to mention that both of those hitters both hit a grand slam that night. So they both, Tellez and Reynolds, both hits 2 home runs, one of them each being a grand slam for both
Yeah.
of them. Beyond that, Grandal goes 2 for 4, 2 runs, 1 RBI. He has a home run. Michael A. Taylor, 4 for 4, 2 runs, 1 RBI, 1 home run. Sawinski, 1 for 4, 1 run, 1 RBI, 1 walk, 1 home run. Mike, 7 home runs. That's the most by a Pirates team ever. It's a tie, I believe, but is the most ever by a Pirates team to ever hit 7 home runs in a game. I think it was the first time ever in Major League history that you had 2 guys both hit multiple home runs, and
That's
one of them being a grand slam for each of them. Again,
I'm looking at this.
But like as
Yeah.
we said before the season starts, aren't these the kind of statistics that the Pirates get? They're
Mhm.
bad, they stink. You
Yeah.
always, they're never any good. But then they get a crazy ass
Yeah. I have something
statistic
like
like
this.
this.
Yeah. And I'm looking at Sawinski's line, one hit, 1 for 4, a ribby, a home run, a walk and a strikeout. That's kind of what you want his stat line to look
Yeah,
like every game. He's not going to hit a home run every game, but you know what I mean? He's driving in at least 1 run, 1 hit, 1 for 4. That's what, 250. If he can bat 250 all year long, I'm happy. I will take that. That's what I'm looking for at him. Taylor, a 4 for 4. He looked like a major league ball player out there. He looked like
with
the
a
guy
home
we
run, no
signed.
less.
But once again, I would take, again, every couple of games, 4 for 4, 2 for 4, a 1 for 4, bat around 270. That's what I expect out of him. And then Tellez, if he can keep playing the way he is, this is looking like a good signing. But he will have Tellez will have a game like this, but then he'll have a bunch of games where he disappears. But again, if he keeps playing like this, him, Reynolds, Cruz, that's a nice lineup right there. And if you get Sawinski batting 250, you get Taylor coming in batting 250 as well. They can do something. But like you said, this right here, this is like, a needle in a haystack type of game for us. We will be lucky to have another game like this all year long, where
But
all
I
these
tell you
guys
what,
are playing the way they are.
if you caught it real time, it was a blast. It was
Oh,
so
it
fun to
was.
watch with Skeens pitching, the hitters hitting. It was really,
Yeah.
it was a lot of fun. A couple more hitters in the game, like Cruz had 2 hits, 1 run, 1 walk. Palacios went 1 for 3. He had 3 runs, 2 walks. Both Brian Hayes and Nikki G, 0-5, 0-4. And a night that everybody was hitting the ball. You'd like to see that change a little bit. But you know what? You win 14-2. There's not much to complain about.
No, you can't. There's not a lot to complain about in this game at all. This is like, like you said, it was a nice night at the ballpark. That place was packed. It was rocking and rolling. But to me, that was the Paul Skeens effect. Everyone showed up for Paul Skeens to watch him pitch another outing. And again, this is why he should be starting the All-Star game. He is packing PNC Park every time he plays.
He's the Caitlin Clark.
He is.
If you don't start him in the National League team in the All-Star game, it's the same effect as not
Yeah.
Using Caitlin Clark the right way.
Yeah.
So baseball better, and I think baseball's a little bit smarter than the
I don't know.
WNBA is.
I think they're going to go with a veteran.
Do you
This
really?
guy, he's earned it. He's been here. He's grinded. He deserves it.
All
This
right.
rookie, he will have his chance down the line instead of capitalizing on the
All
moment.
the eyes
Because
across
that's
the
how
land
sports. That's how
will be
sports
tuning
are, man.
in next week from Texas to watch this game.
Yeah,
Again, you can't mess
I
this
know.
up. I think
I
you
know, but
start this guy.
it's that mentality in sports. They don't like to give the rookies anything. They like to give to someone. Oh, they've been there. They've earned it. Instead of giving the one, they might be a rookie, but he's kind of earned it. Playing as well as he has.
Absolutely.
His record should be better than 5-0. It's not his fault. He has no offense
Right.
around him. He should have at least 8 wins that I can think of off the top of my head.
Oh, easy.
Where he's left and the bullpen has totally shit the bed.
Mike, Reynolds and Tellez in this baseball game, they hit 2 grand slams. They had a total of 4 home runs, and they hit 11 RBIs between the two of them. 11 RBIs between two
That's
guys.
nuts.
We can't score more than 2 runs a game on any given night. So
Yeah.
that's, insanely awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Mike, this is the first time teammates in history ever did so with this home run situation that these two gentlemen did on Friday night. Nobody's ever done this, had a performance like them. But again, what other team to do it than the Pittsburgh Pirates? This is just the kind of thing that happens for this team. They'll have the most freakish record that'll never be broken.
Mm-mm.
But they can't win 2 baseball games in a
No,
row.
we can't win a 3-2 ball game to save our life. we've had how many pitchers leave the game in the sixth inning with a lead, and then they end up with a no decision,
Yeah.
and we lose that game. Yeah, and that's but this is Bucko baseball in a nutshell. This weekend was.
Like also the fans were super behind Rowdy Tellez. As you know, they were chasing him out of town about 6 weeks ago. He's red hot. They were chanting Rowdy, Rowdy, Rowdy. And even after the game, like this is what Rowdy Tellez says. Rowdy Tellez says, hopefully we're playing in October and in November. Now that's two players within a week. I've heard from the Pittsburgh Pirates mention the playoffs, which is a kind of a interesting thing because you don't
Yes.
generally hear players from the Pirates talking about the
No.
playoffs.
No, you don't. I just wish their play on the field would back up what they are saying. I
Yeah.
get it, but real quick, yeah, like Steeler freak. If Paul Skeens would steal Taylor Swift, he would become the greatest sports legend of all time.
See, I think he ought to steal Taylor Swift and have both him and Livy or her and Livy. Like he should walk out with both of those chicks on his
Yeah,
arms at
yeah,
all
he would be
times.
a god. He'd be a man amongst men, a living legend. And yeah, Brian, sorry, 15 minutes and we haven't mentioned Livy's done commercial yet. You got to tease the audience. You don't want to go with your best stuff right away. You got to keep something for later on.
A couple more things, guys. There are 7 games left till the All-Star break. Of course, we finish up with the Mets today, travel to Milwaukee to play the Brewers for 3 tomorrow. Then we wrap up with the White Sox, get ready to head into the All-Star break. Mike, the Brian Reynolds. Let me give you his numbers here real quick. He has
Reynolds,
16 home runs, 16 home runs, which is second in the National League amongst outfielders. 20. Sorry, how many RBIs does he have?
oh, I just clicked off them. So I
58,
thought, yeah, I had the
something
stats.
like this. He's third amongst NL
54
outfield,
ribbies.
54. That's third amongst the all-star outfielders. And then also he has his 25-game hitting streak under his belt. So,
Mm-hmm.
we talked about a week or 10 days ago. Does this guy deserve it? I say rightfully so, Mike. I
Yeah.
don't think there's any way that Brian Reynolds shouldn't be going to this baseball game. Of course, he is going as a reserve, which is totally fine.
Yeah.
But, Mike, there isn't anybody else who had a 25-game hitting streak for
No.
starters this year. So do you think the right guys are going?
Yeah, the right guys are going. A case could be made for Mitch Keller,
I
but
was going
there's
to say
no.
that was my next question. Was Mitch snubbed?
No,
If he would
no.
have collected one more win over those past two
Yeah,
games, he's been on 9 for a couple games now. If he would have collected one more and was sitting at 10, would you say he got snubbed?
I would, but also on the other hand, the Buckers were what 5 games under 500. It would be hard pressed to justify sending 3 Pirates to the
Yeah.
All Star game. So I think Skeens was definitely the lock, and then it was going to be between Reynolds and Mitch Keller. So yeah, it was a toss up between those two. I think it makes sense to send Brian Reynolds. He had that 25-game hit streak, but then like you said, his numbers, they're, in line there with the top outfielders. So I think that the right decisions were made. I would have loved to see Mitch Keller. Yeah, I think he deserved it, but it's hard to justify sending 3 Pirates, 3 guys from a
And
team that's
again,
sub
such a
500.
shame you have this offense
I know.
playing behind you because Mitch Keller might have 12 wins if that
Yeah.
that wasn't the case.
Yeah.
Mike, Brian Reynolds, he is going for the second time in his career. His last time was 2021. He was at the All-Star game. Um, and also the other big news, two big things I do want to say with the Pirates before we do move on to the next game. The trade deadline is the 30th of this month. So you're going to start to see the moves happen. Are teams buyers? Are they sellers? Let's see how the Pirates finish out this first half of the season. I'm up in the air right now. For some reason, they believe in themselves, and I like that. I don't know how much people believe in them, but they, from what I'm hearing, again from Tellez and from O'Neill Cruz last week, they believe in themselves.
Yeah, and that's good. That self-confidence will help, but they definitely need better players. But I think, they're hearing what their GM is saying. Like, we have our lineup and people just need to play better. So I think the players are kind of hopefully trying to rally amongst themselves to do what they can. But like I said, man, there's a lot of holes in this lineup, and we're getting holes in the rotation now with pitchers on the IL. So
Um, in the
some
quote,
something needs to be done by the trade deadline.
The cool part about what happened on Friday night, it wasn't the 14 runs. It wasn't the double grand slams. It wasn't the 7 home runs. It wasn't any of that. The coolest part about Friday night's game is they hit so many home runs, Mike, they ran out of fireworks.
Who would have thought that would happen in Pittsburgh
You
where
know
we
what? In
ran out of
preseason, in
fireworks?
the spring training, remember I called them the Bird Bombers for a moment. People laughed.
Yeah.
That was the team I was talking about. The team that
Yeah.
played the other 161 games this year. I'm not talking about them,
Yeah. That's this team. That was that team Friday.
but they hit so many home runs, they ran out of fireworks.
Like,
That's so awesome. You
call
know?
up Zambellis, like, hey guys, come down here real quick. We need some more fireworks.
Yeah.
But that's nuts. Just send someone. They should have sent someone down to out to Phantoms or something, man. Hop across the border to Ohio and smuggle them back in. Do what you got to do. You're pirates, for God's sake. Act like a pirate.
You look more like you're on Mugshot Monday today than the other day because you have like a red shirt on. It kind of looks like a jumpsuit.
My jumpsuit. I
Yeah.
was messing around with my camera filters and stuff too. Colors got a little bit more pop to it. So yeah.
You know what, Brian? That's a good question. Good morning on the board anyway, Brian. If I hadn't said, Brian says, any idea what's up with Dan Potash back on the TV sideline coverage? Where saying, I don't know.
I thought something like happened to Hannah, like
Well,
she
they
got
had
hurt
that
or
Haley
sick.
chick that was down there for a while, and then Hannah came back, and then now it's Dan Potash. I don't know. Maybe they're just giving people time off. I don't know because I noticed also a couple times during the post game that Michael McHenry might not be there one day. So maybe they're just giving guys days off. It's a long summer. I don't know. I hope that Hannah's all right, but again, she was there, then she wasn't, then she was, and now she's not again. So I'm not real sure what's going on.
I'm looking. I don't see any no updates.
No
No
injuries for
injuries,
Hannah
no nothing.
Mears.
I don't see much. Like she still has all of her stuff listed as the Pirates and stuff. So yeah, maybe
Let's
she
move
just had
to
some time off. Maybe she had a vacation coming up. I don't know. She didn't inform me. I think Hannah's and I relationship is on the rocks.
you and Derpy, more like it.
At least I show up.
Let's see. Steeler Freak says Nutting has a choice to build an offense around the pitching staff while keeping the throwers to be truly competitive. He has the chance to prove if he wants a championship team or just make cash. I just feel like
Yeah,
everybody's eye roll right now when I
yeah,
finished reading that.
yeah. Because we all know what we want. We all know what the players want, but we know what Bob Nutting wants.
Yeah.
That's just to make a profit. Which sucks because you saw, man, like this town, you put a winning product out there, no matter what sport it is at the major league level, we will show up. You have to, if you put out the effort, we will put out the effort as fans. And, he doesn't do it. So we only show up on certain occasions, especially like when Paul Skeens is there. It's hard to show up to a Bucco game every day when you know that, you have a manager who's punching above his weight because he has no feel for the game. But, you keep him around because he works for cheap. And then you have a GM who works for cheap, and then you have an owner who's cheap. It's just what sucks about being a Pirate baseball fan.
So the Pirates win 14-2. I'm feeling good. I go to bed Friday night thinking, all right, we got 3 more against this team. We just put up 14 points. We're going to score 100 points this weekend. Game 2, Saturday night, Pirates, Mets. First of all, we get out hit 11-6 in this baseball game. Bailey Falter leaves after 2 innings with soreness, discomfort in his throwing arm. He is now on the IL, 15-day IL. He joins another starting pitcher, Jared Jones. I'm not too concerned about this. Like I said, you have Gonzalez and Perez both coming back. You have Luis Ortiz, who pitched yesterday, who I think is pitching well in that spot. As a matter of fact, he's pitched his second best game in as many games yesterday. And also, you do have gentlemen like Quinn Priester. He's working his way. So we have ample starting pitching. But so let's talk about this game on Saturday. Bailey Falter gets pulled after 2 innings. He given up 5 hits in that period of time, 3 earned runs, 2 walks, and he had 2 strikeouts. Dennis Santana comes in, throws for a couple innings. He only gives up 2 hits, no runs, had a couple of Ks. Ryder Ryan comes in for 3 innings, gives up a couple runs. And then Fleming comes in to finish up the game, giving up no runs. Pirates lose 5-2. O'Neill Cruz goes for 1 for 3 with a run, 2 RBIs, and a home run. Reynolds goes 2 for 3 with a walk. Gonzalez, Palacios, Telez all have one hit. Joey Bart has 2 walks and a run. And these players all had no hits. Key Brian Hayes 0 for 4, Connor Joe for 3, Mike Way Taylor 0 for 2. Yeah, go ahead, Mike.
Not a good game.
Not a
It
good
just
game.
just my God, like you said, you go from 14-2, and then you just score 2 runs. What the hell?
And
Like
I
everyone
caught
who was hitting the night before can't hit the day after.
also one thing that I found encouraging about the game on Saturday was Joey Bart, his ability to throw out runners.
Yeah.
He tagged the guy out at third. I think he tagged the guy out at second. He's
Mm-hmm.
playing out of his mind behind the plate. Give Grandal a break. That guy's been
Yeah.
playing his ass off. I think that just at this point, you got to go more Joey Bart. The guy's got fresher legs. It's been 90 degrees here for several weeks. I say go Joey Bart a while. Um,
And,
but
he's
yeah,
batting a little bit better too. He's batting 243. It's a limited sample size, but that's still one of the better batting averages on the team. So get a little offensive production and the defensive production out of him as well. I think that's a huge upgrade over Grandel.
yeah. And as I said the other day, Grandal just seemed. I mean, he looks worn out.
Grandel's like 95 years old, man. He needs a break.
He was overthrowing the pitcher. I mean,
Yeah, it wasn't pretty.
something
Yeah.
as common as just throwing the ball back to the pitcher. The pitcher's chasing the ball over the place. And you can't do this. And then the dude throws the ball out to right center field when he tried to throw somebody out at second.
Yeah.
If for anything, he needs a break. He needs a break.
Yeah.
He's been playing too much. Again, as you said, I think he's 36 years old, maybe. I don't know how old he is.
Yeah. He's
But
getting up there.
he needs this. He needs a little bit of time off. Everybody needs a little time off when it's hot, especially when you're back behind the plate, participating in every single play with equipment on. You might need a day or two off. So give Joey Bart a chance because he has been semi-productive, as you said, in small sample sizes. Joey Bart has been very productive, I feel, and I think that they ought to continue to go with Bart until they feel comfortable putting Grandel back in there.
And just ride Joey Bart until you can't anymore. My God, just let him go.
Yeah.
Like I'm happy with the production you're getting out of him. Like I said, small sample size, but it's still a hell of a lot better than what we're seeing on this team.
And as I mentioned, like these injuries, the one thing that I did like about this team is, I mean, they're not a great team, but they do have nice depth at all their positions. You could see 2 starting pitchers had went out early, and they filled it in, and now they got 2
Uh-huh.
more starting pitchers going out, and those 2 starting pitchers are coming back now. And then it's your other positions as well. Like catcher. I mean, we've had 8
Oh
guys
my God,
basically
yeah.
from Andy Rodriguez to where we are now. There's been an ample amount of catchers that's
Hmm.
played. So I mean, we have decent depth, and the guys that step in they're okay enough to play. And I don't
Yeah.
feel that the person that's playing in any specific position we're worse off than. I'm happy, Mike. I'm content. And here's the thing: we're sitting at 42 and 47. We're a few games off from the 500 mark, but you know, any other team could rally around this great pitcher.
Yeah.
Any
But
other
not.
team could rally around 25 game hitting streak.
Hmm.
Not the Pirates.
No. No.
There's just no, these guys are going to do what they do, and everybody else is just going to continue to do what they do. I don't know why this team has no emotion. They play with no emotion.
They don't. And and they're just slipping further and further back in
Mm-hmm.
the standings too. So I'm not. It's almost to the point where the season's over, but at least the players aren't acting like the season's over, like we've seen in teams in the past. Here, you know, we've seen Bucko teams sitting at this record right now. They would just completely give up on the season. They would give up. We lose 2 starting pitchers, they would give up. So at least they're battling through it. The guys have the right mindset, but like you said, though, they don't have that killer instinct. And
No.
for me, that's the manager too, Shelton. Yeah, he did, argue balls and strikes the other day, but uh, he's just not like the guy that you need in that clubhouse.
He's not a guy that the guys rally around. You need a guy that the guys rally around.
Yeah.
And he's just not.
He's
I
not.
mean,
He's not it. He's
I
not it.
like him. Don't get me wrong. I do. I like him, and I could
He
probably
seems
even
like a
hang out
decent
with him as a
person, but
person. But you know what?
as a manager, no,
Yeah.
no feel for the game of baseball whatsoever.
So the Pirates are now losing that game 5-2. Mike, let's move on to yesterday's game. This game was game 3 of 4. against the Mets. The Pirates get out hit in this game 9-6. I'm sorry, yeah, Luis Ortiz gets the big start, Mike. 2 games in a row where I thought his last 2 starts were amazing, to be honest. He comes out, throws 6 innings, gives up 4 hits, no earned runs, no walks, has 5 strikeouts.
You think you're gonna win this game.
Right. Those are winning numbers.
Those are.
And that's like I'm saying. I'm not concerned about starting pitching entirely. I'm just not. I'm not. I think we have enough depth to play where we're playing right now.
Yeah.
I think we have enough depth to continue to play where we're at right now. And being a few games under 500, it's not the worst thing ever. And only being 4.5 games out of the wild card, which just a week ago that was a half a game out of the wild card. You got to be somewhat happy with. But again, Mike, you did mention that they're falling. They're falling fast in the standings. We will touch on the standings after we talk a little bit more about Sunday's game. Carmen Majitsky comes in, throws an inning in relief of Ortiz. Holderman comes in, throws an inning. Chapman comes in, basically blows the game. Nicholas comes in, finishes out to get the last hit of the game. Chapman. Do you want Chapman? Do you not want Chapman? I don't know what to think, Mike. I thought that he would have been, and he is. Don't get me wrong. He's still tough on the mound and a tough reliever, but he's giving up a lot, and we're losing games because of it this year.
Yeah.
Would you rather have Chapman around, or wouldn't you?
I'm leaning towards no. That's like his third blown save of the year. And it's just he's not getting better. This isn't, the Chapman of like 10 years ago, but I was expecting a little better than what we're seeing now. He'll have, a couple of those games where you're thinking, all right, this guy's looking good, not as good as he used to, but, still serviceable. But then he comes out with games like this where you're like, what the hell are you doing? And like, there was like no movement on that fastball at all in this game. It's just very, very inconsistent. And I think he's a liability at this point more than he is an asset. And I don't think you'd be able to move him at the trade deadline. So you're just going to be, just sitting him out the rest of the second half of the season.
I think
unless you can get something for him, I wouldn't be opposed to
move him. I think you can move him. I think we will move him, providing we don't win the next 7 games and look like we have some kind of potential to do something. But I do think that I think he can, and I think he will be moved at the deadline. Somebody will want him, and you know what? Hold on. Well, let's see what else is going on. Mike, in this game yesterday, Brian Hayes gets 2 hits. He goes 2 for 4. Nick Gonzalez goes 1 for 4 with 2 RBIs. McCutchen, Joey Bart, Sawinski all have 1 hit in this game. The Pirates, after yesterday, Mike, are 42-47. The Mets are up to 44-44. The team that was playing, they were playing real bad. They were losing to the Rockies. They come here, you think, all right, well, this team isn't playing good. They just got beat up by the Rockies. And here we are. We're down 2-1, Mike. We can lose the series, ultimately 3-1 today. Or we could tie the series up and finish the series with the Mets as a tie, go to Milwaukee tomorrow and, and see what we could do.
We need help. We need a lot of help in the standings. I don't know. I'm starting to lose Bucko fever.
Yeah. Well, it's closer till we get to the Steelers season, Mike.
I know
Bucko fever is starting to recede a little bit.
It is.
A couple of things. The next game so the next game is today, 12:35 after the show here in about 45 minutes. You will have first pitch. It's going to be a Mitch Keller start, Mike. Game 4 of 4 with the Mets. He comes in with a 9-5 record, a 3.48 ERA, 96 strikeouts on the season, almost guaranteed to get to the century mark today, coming in with 96 strikeouts. For the Mets, Christian Scott, he is 0-2 with a 4.32 and 27 strikeouts on the season. How much you want to bet says he gets his first win of the season today?
Oh, yeah, he's going to kill us.
And so Keller and Scott going at it. Pittsburgh, 12:35, game 4 of 4. Finish this game. Then we have 6 games left. Again, the Brewers and the White Sox, both series on the road, and then the All-Star break. Is this where you thought this team was going to be at this point of the year?
Right around there. Yeah, I think I had them at the end of the year just a little bit above 500. So they're about where they are. And which is funny because, I'm so frustrated with the team, but they're kind of where I thought they would be.
Right.
But like they have those games or little stretches where they show promise. So then you get hooked. Then they have these last two outings that were just Pirate baseball in a nutshell.
All right, let me excite your endorphins. Get you going here. The Pittsburgh Steelers. About 34 days left until they play a game. Real quick to bridge the two, Mike. Ryan Shazier did go out over the weekend, and he did throw out the first pitch for one of the Pirate games. Ryan Shazier looked good out there, walking, throwing, looking pretty good. So we got about 34 days till the Steelers play. But you know what? There is something to commemorate a little bit here, Mike. Yesterday, 91 years ago, yesterday, the Steelers is where it all began. 91 years ago, yesterday, the legend that is the
The
Pittsburgh
legend.
Steelers. It all started 91 years ago yesterday. So
That's awesome.
1933 is only 2033 is only 9 years away. Be 100 years.
You know what? If we make it, if we're both still alive by then, it'll be a hell of a celebration here on the
Yeah,
podcast.
for sure. I do got a cool chart I want to get to, but let me tell you about a couple
Yeah.
of these other things first.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cam
Yeah.
Hayward comes out and says, "This is what Cam Hayward said."
Oh
"Quote:
my God.
Whatever happens with the Steelers," he says, because of course, let me catch you up. He's trying to get his contract extension,
Yep.
and he threatened to take his skills to Cleveland if he can't get things worked out here because his wife was from Cleveland. Then he comes back after realizing what a dumb thing that he just said. I'll never go to Cleveland. My wife's giving me trouble. She'll never go to. She almost threw up. He said when hearing the news. Well, Cam Hayward says this: "Whatever happens with the Steelers, we're not going to Cleveland. I'll tell you that." End quote. You think he realized he's put his foot in his mouth?
Oh yeah, he did. He did, and he's chronically online. I think he's on Twitter more than I am, which it's sad in and of itself. But yeah, he's starting to see the fan comments turn from everyone worshiping him and hanging on every word that he says, defending him, to people who are starting to turn on him in his own comment section, in his own replies, and then I think he realized he messed up.
Yeah.
And I do love the point though too, where he's the one who started this whole thing,
Yeah.
and then then he was like, I can't believe where this stuff's coming from, dude. It came from your own mouth.
Right.
Oh, then it wasn't him and his media shows going, oh, he was just joking. Oh, he's just joking. I just can't wait for this clown to be gone. But we still need him, which sucks.
Speaking of clowns, the Baltimore Ravens, they have a sudden interest in. Well, you know how we took Patrick Queen from them. They've been
Yeah,
kind of shitty about it. Well, now they're interested in picking up Quan Alexander. Quan Alexander, the injured prone.
the guy he has what, a torn or torn
Yeah.
Achilles. He
Yeah.
won't be
So
back until later in the year, if at
they're
all.
looking at him. So whatever they're doing, they're trying to piss us off. And you know what? I don't
Oh
even
yeah.
give two shits.
Well, they need every advantage they can because we've owned them the past 8 games.
Mike. So here's my chart. Here's my numbers. You want to hear
I want to
something
hear that. I want to
interesting?
hear these numbers.
So
Yes.
this here is, get this. This is what, okay. So I mentioned the Steelers are 91 years old.
Yeah.
Okay. This is what every team sold for the last time that they were sold. For example, in 2023, the Washington football team sold for $6.05 billion. So I'm going to go
Woo.
backwards in order. In 2020, let's see, in 2022, the Denver Broncos sold for 4.65 billion. In 2018, the Carolina Panthers sold for 2.28 billion. In 2014, the Buffalo Bills went for 1.4 billion. 2012, the Browns 1.05 billion. In 2011, the Jaguars 760 million. 760 million.
It's not bad.
It's not bad.
That's cheap.
2010, the Rams 750 million. In 1999, the Texans 700 million. In 2000, the Jets 635 million. In 2005, the Vikings 600 million. In 2000, the Ravens 600 million.
That's a good
Falcons,
return on your investment right there. You want to, I think, win
absolutely.
a Super Bowl after that one. I think.
Back in 02, the Falcons 545 million. 1997, the Seahawks, 194 million. In 95, the Buccaneers, 192 million. The Eagles in 94, 185 million. And also in 94, the Patriots, 172 million.
Holy, Robert Kraft made a nice return on that investment.
Yeah.
Jesus.
In 1989, the Dallas Cowboys, 140 million. In 1984, the Chargers, 70 million. In 85, the Saints, 70 million. In 1972, the Colts went for 15 million. In 1977, the 49ers went for 13 million. Now, mind you, just last year, the Washington football team, 6.05 billion. In 1967, the Bengals, 8 million. You could have bought the team, the Cincinnati Bengals for $8 million in 1967. In 1964, the Lions, 5 million, just $5 million. In 1966, the Raiders, 180,000.
Wow.
180,000.
Damn.
1932, you could have bought the Cardinals. The Cardinals were $50,000 in 1932. Tennessee Titans in 1959, which would have been the Houston Oilers franchise, $25,000. The Kansas City Chiefs back in 1960, $25,000. Four teams left, Mike. Next team in 1933, Pittsburgh Steelers, $2,500.
That you won down betting on the ponies.
$2,500. You could have bought the Steelers with your income tax. Oh, it gets better. The New York Giants in 1925, $500. The last time the Giants sold was 1925,
Wow.
$500. Back in 1920, second to last team, the Bears, $100. You could have bought the Chicago Bears in 1920 for $100. In 1919, the Green Bay Packers, not available. There's not even a money amount listed for that Packers team.
Wow.
So, from the Redskins, the team from Washington, 6.05 billion last year, to the Bears, $100. You could have bought that team. $100.
That's insane.
But football wasn't shit back then. You know what I mean?
No, God, no. It was like seen as like an embarrassment.
Yeah.
The government had to step in because guys were like dying and getting hurt.
Yeah.
Real quick, I kind of got a companion list to that one real quick.
Okay.
It has like the net worth of each NFL owner. Down,
Okay.
I just do a couple real quick here. Green Bay, NA, because they're owned by the fans. And let's see. Art Rooney, $1.2 billion. That's so it goes Green Bay, then Mike Brown down in Cincinnati, then Art Rooney, the third, number three, 1.2 billion for the poorest owner in the league. Not bad for an initial $2,500 family investment. Your guys are up to $1.2 billion. And then Denver's, they're first. The Walton family, $774 billion. That is insane. This is why a salary cap in sports is very important. Because, if there was no salary cap, they wanted to, the Denver Broncos could win championship after championship after championship.
Yeah, they would be the Yankees.
Yeah.
Just with that, the amount of money them fucking people got, it's insane.
It is nuts. And then, like, what, the Giants were low on the list too. They're at 2.1 billion. And that was kept in the family, and they're not even in the top 10. They're in like the bottom 10 of the poorest owners. So the legacy owners in the NFL are some of the poorest owners in the league, which I find funny.
Like, and then I do have one more short list for you. Top 10 offensive lines in the league, according to somebody. This list got the number one top offensive line in the league, the Detroit Lions. Lions got the best offensive line in the league. Philadelphia Eagles, number 2. Indianapolis Colts, number 3. The Brownies, 4. The Jets, 5. Bottom half of the top 10 offensive lines in the league this year. Number 6, the Atlanta Falcons. Number 7, the Kansas City Chiefs. Number 8, the Buffalo Bills. 9, the Steelers. And 10, the Dallas Cowboys.
Wow.
Yeah.
Huh.
So there
That's
you
a bit
go.
high for us, but I'll take it.
Absolutely.
I got a
Absolutely.
bit of breaking news here, Ryan.
Yeah.
Penguins and Sidney Crosby are confident a deal will be agreed upon and formalized soon. This is from reports from Rob Rossi.
What
So,
Crosby?
yeah, Crosby, it looks like he's going to sign a contract extension soon.
Yeah, he ain't going nowhere.
He's going to be a Penguin for life. Figured Derpy wasn't here to state the obvious. So,
Yeah.
so that's
Pittsburgh
why I'm here.
Riverhounds, they lose another one, Mike. Another one. 1-0. They lose to Monterey Bay FC, 1-0. Next game for the Pittsburgh Riverhounds is Saturday at 7 o'clock. They do play the Oakland Roots, and they do have a pretty cool giveaway. It's this Riverhounds Mount Rushmore souvenir, and it's got like if you're a big Riverhounds fan, you would know who these people are on the
Yeah.
Mount Rushmore. But it's pretty cool. It's a real nice souvenir. So get down there Saturday, check out the Riverhounds as they take on Oakland Roots SC. Blake Hinson off to a great start in the
Yes.
NBA. His first game ever as a Laker in the summer league. Blake Hinson from Pitt, of course, gets 17 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, goes 63% from the field, 5 for 7 from the 3-point line. That was his first game in the summer league. Second game, Bronny James, he leaves the game with knee swelling. Of course, he's on the Lakers as well. So Hinson has a strong first game. Second game, Bronny goes out with knee swelling, and then also for Hinson, he gets 8 points in the second game. So Blake Hinson looking pretty good to start off with the Lakers. We'll be looking forward to watching him and the other Pitt Panthers that did go to the NBA. Mike, but the big story in basketball, of course, is none other than Caitlin Clark. And you know what?
Oh,
What
yeah.
happened over this weekend, I think, makes it a little bit more interesting because the New York Liberty comes in with a 17-3
Mm-hmm.
record. The Indiana Fever come in with an 8-13 record. 17-3, 8-13. You know what? This is going to be a blowout. The Liberty's
Yep.
just tough. Fever doesn't. Well, guess what? The Fever pulled off a comeback. The Indiana Fever beat the New York Liberty 83-78 in an upset.
Ooh.
Clark has team high 19 points. She led the team in scoring. She has tied game high rebounds. She shared with a woman from another team with 12 total rebounds, and she had the game high in assist with 13 for a triple double. That's right. Caitlin Clark plays out of her mind, has a triple double. They upset the Liberty. The game high score was Enescu from New York. She had 22 points again. Caitlin had 19. The woman from the Liberty had 12 rebounds. Caitlin had 12. And Brianna Stewart from New York had 6 assists, while Caitlin Clark had 13 assists. And Caitlin Clark only turned the ball over 4 times, which is an argument a lot of people have.
Yep.
She turns the ball over. She only turned it over 4 times while leading this team to a victory over the LA Liberty the New York Liberty that I don't think anybody expected.
Oh.
The Indiana Fever now are 9-13. Remember, they only won 13 games total last year. The Liberty are now 17-4. Next game for the Indiana Fever does come on Wednesday at noon. It's going to be a noon game. It's going to be the DC Mystics at the Indiana Fever, 12 o'clock Wednesday. If you want to check out Caitlin and see what she could do against them. But again, this is a huge win. Come on, in the WNBA, the Indiana Fever, they get the first overall pick. Of course, this isn't a good team. They go out and they upset the 17-3 Liberty, while Caitlin Clark outplays everybody. Everybody. And
Yeah.
she only turned the ball over 4 times. So
Yeah, beat the best team in the league, a team that's beaten them what 3 times already this year. So
team that's about 9.5 games ahead of the Fever in the
yeah,
standings.
yeah, and I think that win helped put the Fever into the playoff. Yeah, because the top 8 teams make it. Yeah, right now they're sitting seventh.
So and here's the thing: you only see this person getting better. So
Mm-hmm.
she's gonna be a lot of fun. Again, Wednesday noon, they do play the Mystics. Pittsburgh Passion, they were off, but they do have the big playoff game this coming Saturday, guys. Saturday at 6 o'clock p.m. The Pittsburgh Passion hosts the Boston Renegades. This is women's football, the FA. It's at 6 o'clock at Pine Richland High School. And whoever wins this game between Pittsburgh and Boston goes to the championship game at Tom Benson Stadium in Canton, Ohio, at the Hall of Fame to play the winner of the team that advances from the West. So, Mike, they got a big game this coming Saturday. They win this, they go back, they go to the championship. But Boston's always a big challenge for Pittsburgh and a big challenge for anybody. They're always usually the best team. How do you feel about the Pittsburgh Passion and the Boston Renegades going into this weekend?
I think we take it. I think we exercise some demons after the past couple years. We beat Boston and cruise our way into another championship. I think it's going to come down to Pittsburgh and Boston. I think whoever wins this one will go on to win, and it's going to be the Passion. It's their time. The way they've been playing all year, oh, no one looks close to them.
Yeah, I agree. This team has a different feel. They even the game when they beat us Boston earlier this year, 26-21, they were up 17-0 at one point. You go back and you watch film, you figure out how to stop that from happening. I think they come out, they win this game. It'd be really cool. And if they do, Mike, make your way up to Canton if you can to see them play in a couple weeks after that game, because that will be the championship. But as I said, I've been watching these women play on TV, and they are definitely they got it, man. If any Pittsburgh Passion team I've seen play over the past few years, this is the team that has it.
Oh yeah, they're just so dominant. My God,
Yeah,
like what the starting quarterback went out and what backup goes in and doesn't even miss a beat.
no,
Whew.
yeah, they're really good. It's a solid team. And these women, they have they have that mindset. You can see when watching that game how much heart is in the game. Like I said, when the Pirates you watch, you just they have no heart. You watch this Passion team; these women have heart when they play again. So definitely pulling for them. Hopefully, they could beat Boston on Saturday at 6 o'clock at Pine Richland. Mike, why don't you go and tell everybody about the website, man?
The2winsers.com. Over there, we got links to run it on social media. We got the merchandise store. We got the blog up there. Fresh new blog today up there as well. So yeah, go check it out. The2winsers.com and Steeler Freak. I like where you're heading with this goth chick. I like it. I like it.
I want to real quick give you the standings, Mike, in our division for the Pirates. I forgot to do that
Yeah.
before we do this. Milwaukee, of course, in first place. I don't know where it went. It's somewhere around here.
Hold
All
on.
right. Milwaukee's in first place. They start a series with us starting tomorrow. The St. Louis Cardinals are in second place. They're 5 games out. We're in third place, 10 games out. St. Louis starts a series with Washington. We start the series with Milwaukee. Cincinnati's in fourth place, 10.5 games out. They start a series with Colorado today. And Chicago, the Cubs, they are 11 games out, starting a series with Baltimore. We are 4.5 games out of the wild card, Mike. Just like I said, about 10 days ago, we were about a half game out. So I'm losing confidence. I'm losing it fast. Again, we have a 25 game hitting streak player. We have another player who could possibly be the best pitcher that ever played, but yet here we are falling fast. But you know what? As Pirate fans, we're prepared. We're the most prepared for this more than anybody, I think. The falling fast of your team.
Oh yeah, like it's a yearly occurrence with us.
Yeah,
I mean, we know it's going to happen,
absolutely. Are
so
you ready
we just
for some?
roll with it.
So today's trivia, Mike. This is going to be a Pittsburgh Pirate All-Star game, All-Star player type trivia question. Guys on the board, play along. Everybody at home, here we go. This is the question of the day. The Pirates, of course, as you know, over the weekend had Paul Skeens and Brian Reynolds selected to the All-Star team. What was the last year? I'm looking for a year here. What was the last year that the Pirates didn't have a pitcher selected to the All-Star game? I'm looking for a year. What year? The last year that the Pirates didn't have a pitcher selected to the All-Star game. Sometimes you just get that one person because we're never that good, and they just put somebody in there. For example, for Brian Reynolds, because he is. But you know what? Last year we had a few pitchers. David Bednar's been good for a few years. The question of the day, guys, is, with that being said, what was the last year that the Pittsburgh Pirates didn't send a pitcher to the All-Star game? Again, I'm looking for a year here. Go ahead and think that over. We're live. We're live 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here the show that we do live, brand new every day. We upload over in Spotify in podcast form at 8 o'clock p.m. every day. If maybe you missed a show, maybe you just rather listen to the show. You're in the car, you're at the gym, your earbuds in. You could always go to Spotify and listen to the brand new show after 8 o'clock p.m. every day on Spotify. Check it out. All right. So Paul Skeens and Brian Reynolds were selected over the weekend for the All-Star game. Mike, the question of the day is this. I'm looking for the last calendar year that a Pittsburgh Pirates pitcher wasn't selected to the All-Star game. Do you have any guesses?
Let's go 2021.
2021. What are you always looking at when I ask the questions and it looks like you're looking something up
I'm
on
actually
computer?
on
I just
Twitter.
have to ask.
I am on Twitter right now
because
trying to find something.
Every day I ask the question.
I'm on Twitter trying to find like the anything else.
And then you coincidentally always give the correct answer.
No,
I'm just going to leave it at that. But anyway,
no, I'm literally looking at Twitter right now, trying to find something to talk about for the end of the show.
We're gonna have to figure something out with you.
Do screen sharing so you can actually see what I'm looking at.
Yeah.
No, I was actually checking to find something to talk about for after the game. Or after
all right,
the
so
show.
so you picked 2021. Interesting.
Yeah,
picked that.
Because
I would like to know who would you thought the Pirates would have been that actually made it that year if that would have been the
Wasn't
year
that the year you said Brian Reynolds made it that for his first year was 2021?
Well, yes, that, but who else? Because you heard me say that earlier.
No, I would start Brian Reynolds.
I didn't say the other person. That's why you don't know, you jackass.
Oh, I don't know.
Anyway,
I'm just throwing a guess out there.
So here you go. I gotta watch you. I gotta keep my eye on you. So the question of the day is: Skeens and Reynolds both get selected to the All-Star game over the weekend. The question of the day is: what was the last year that the Pirates didn't send a pitcher to the All-Star game? Mike says 2021. He knew the person that I said earlier went to that All-Star game, but he doesn't know the other guy. That's crazy. But anyway, Skiller Freak on the board says no idea. I'll guess 1999.
Might be a good guess.
That's not it, Mike. You know that's not. That's not right. Anyway,
I have no idea what's going on.
I gotta put a camera. I gotta put a camera.
I kind of lost the plot right now.
I gotta put a camera on you when we do this game. 2021 is the answer. Of course, Mike knew that somehow. If I would have asked him last night, he wouldn't have known.
Well, the only reason I knew is,
or if I would have asked him before the show, he wouldn't have known.
No, you context.
If we were standing in the same room, he wouldn't have known.
Well, see, like you mentioned earlier in the show, Reynolds made it in 2021, and I'm assuming that team wasn't that good, and he was the only player from the team who made it. So that had to be the year.
That is exactly what I would say. If I was
after that, we had
out of this, that's exactly what I would have said. You know that
because we had Bednar for a couple years.
Why wouldn't have Bednar have been there in 2021?
Because he was the only one. Reynolds was the only one who won. We were only good enough to send one player at that time. I'm literally trolling Twitter. Right now,
last year we stunk and we sent 3 pitchers, didn't we?
Oh, I don't know. Well, yeah, because we had a good bullpen. We had Holderman, Bednar playing well. Mitch Keller was playing well.
All right. So anyway,
I'll tell you when I'm cheating. I was not cheating.
I know when you're cheating. I could tell by your answers. But anyway, listen, the answer to the question is 2021 was the last year that a Pittsburgh Pirate wasn't selected to the All-Star game that was a pitcher. Brian Reynolds and Adam Frazier. Brian Reynolds and Adam Frazier were the 2 Pittsburgh Pirates that went to the All-Star game that year. So there you have it. Mike ruins yet another trivia question.
I'm just that good. What can I say? Like, I'm literally on Twitter trying to find, anything else. I'm trying to find something.
But I do want to say thank you to everybody for checking us out and coming to hang out with us. We appreciate each and every one of you, each and every one. We really do. We wouldn't do it without you. Thank you so much, everybody on the board. Always grateful. We couldn't do it without you guys as well. You guys always keep things interesting. Mike, what did you find on Twitter that you would like to talk about before we go?
Well, let's see. John Cena is going to call it quits in 2025. He's officially retiring from the wrestling industry in 2025. We'll have his last match. That's what I found on Twitter.
All right. My thing is this: the end of July is always a good thing in Pittsburgh because you got the Steelers starting at camp, you got the Pirates, with the possibility of the trade deadline coming on the 30th of the month. See what they're going to do. Are they going to buy? Are they going to sell? Are they going to, attempt to make a season out of this? Are they not? So we are coming up on some fun things here at the end of the month. Of course, we do have the All-Star game. There is a chance that Paul Skeens does get the nod in the All-Star game, which I think would be amazing. And again, I think you're pretty stupid if you don't. This is right now. He's the big story in the majors. You put him at the top again. It's an exhibition game. Who cares if Daddy Longlegs, who's been pitching for the past 20 years, isn't starting? You go with this guy again. It's business. Business is business, Mike.
But you have to do what's best for business, and right now it is Paul Skeens starting the All Star game.
That's like them. When McGuire and Sosa were having their home
Yep.
run contest,
Mm-hmm.
putting something ahead of that, you just don't do it. That's the
No.
big story. This is what's putting asses in seats. Otherwise, it's just another day in baseball. This guy is something else. He's a generational talent, as
Yes,
the
he
word
is.
keeps being used here in Western Pennsylvania. And I got to tell you, I like it.
Let's go.
All right, Mike. Am I forgetting anything?
I think we covered it all. I think we got
Um,
everything.
Skiller Freak said, "Thanks. Put a derpy pick on a milk carton." Yes, we will. We will.
We
That will
might have
certainly.
to.
Yeah, we'll certainly make sure that that happens. Um, I totally do feel like I'm forgetting something, Mike, but I
I
can't.
can't we got baseball, we got football, we got basketball, we got hockey. Tour de France is still going on. Mountain stages will be coming up. That's when it really kicks off. So we got that to look forward to. They're going to be in the Pyrenees coming up soon.
All right, the Pyrenees. There you go, everybody.
Oh yeah, man. They're
Don't miss
they're
the
harder than the
Pyrenees.
Alps.
But Pirates today, guys, we're 22 minutes away from the opening pitch. Check out the Bucks, see if they could tie the series up with the Mets to, finish with a tied series. Otherwise, the Mets win. They win 3-1. We head off to Milwaukee tomorrow. So we'll be talking all about that tomorrow. See how today's game went, amongst other things. Mike, if that's it for you, man.
That's all I got, brother.
All right. So Mike from the Steeler Central Mobile Studio, myself. Everybody have a great day. Try to keep cool, and we'll see you first thing tomorrow. Bye bye.